You guys are ridiculous. I love it.
What up, world? It's Mig, and we are back with NFT stories for another video. I have my co-hosts on the line. That's Crypto Novo 311 and Beskar X.
What up?
And we are super excited because we have an illustrious guest for you guys tonight. It is none other than Justin Aversano, and he is one of, if not the pioneer of NFT photography. So guys, let's go ahead and clap it up.
Yeah.
Now, if you're sitting at home and if you're not yet familiar with Justin's work, then maybe you don't read Forbes, maybe you don't read Hypebeast, maybe you don't have internet, but we're gonna bring you up to speed tonight. And the project that we're most excited to talk to him about actually just sold out maybe a week ago, which is called Twin Flames, which is a project that I'm sure is very, very near and dear to Justin's heart, not only because it's his photography, but because it's a piece of subject matter that he knows a lot about. We're gonna dive into that. We're also gonna dive into some work that he's done in the past. And there's a little bit of mysticism, you know, as a theme throughout his work, even in the Twin Flames. I want you to kind of connect the dots there for the audience if you can, Justin. And then finally, we're going to talk about something really dope that he's been working on he's been working on for a while called SaveArtSpace, where they're doing some really cool stuff using advertising inventory, billboards, and things like that to promote artists. So he's a really dynamic artist, and I think it's really dope that he's helping bridge sort of the analog world into the NFT space and putting it on the blockchain. So without further ado, Justin, welcome to the show, brother. How are you doing, man?
Wow, I'm blown away by the introduction. That you really touched my heart with what you just said, and I just want to say thank you, because that's literally how I feel. And just by meeting you for the first time, you really nailed my whole oeuvre of work as mysticism, magic, community. Like, that's really what I'm about, and that's what I guess that's what my work radiates. So I'm really glad that that's how you respond to my work.
Man, thank you. Well, let's start there, brother. How did what's your relationship with mysticism? Because it is a theme, and we're going to get to your individual projects. But like, how did you get drawn to magic and mysticism? You know, so deep.
I mean, I've always been an artist, and I've always been spiritual. You know, my mom forced religion on me. I'm Jewish, but I had a bar mitzvah. But I've always been Buddhist and spiritual, and I've always read spiritual works. You know, and I have a bunch of different stories and mythologies that I'm interested in. So I'm fascinated by magic and miracles and out of the ordinary paranormal things because I believe in it. And it's just a matter of perception, right? And as an artist, you create from nothingness, the flame of novelty. And that's what we're here to do, is make the world better through our creations and the communities we create through the art we share. And that's what I try to embody with my nonprofit, with my personal work. And I guess I'll start the journey by leading you through my first major project called Every Day is a Gift. And I'll set the preface of now, like, every one of my projects, personal, really comes from dealing with death. And death for me is inspiration, because I was born in death. I lost my twin in the womb, and that was my prenatal connection. And that's what led me to do Twin Flames, but I'll get to that momentarily. You know, I did Every Day as a Gift as a testament to my mother, because she was dying of cancer that year, and I really wanted to show her that I honored life, and every day was a gift, and everyone is a gift on earth that has a talent that they can share with the world. And you know, I think Every Day as a Gift represents. It was a project to do a photograph of someone on their birthday every single day of the year, and I did it with a Polaroid, playing with the idea of like birthdays and fun and snapshotty look, and that was my senior thesis project at SVA. And every day of the year, without missing a day, I went out and I broke out of my shell and I found someone and I photographed someone on their birthday every single day of the year, and I made that a project. And I may be even releasing that as an NFT, hopefully with Nifty Gateway or someone, maybe by myself, late in the few months.
I love the sound of that. I love the sound that you're finding, you know, that person on their most magical day, and you're making them special for that moment, and you're holding on to that moment. And who knows, that moment may come back to, be monetized later.
I mean, that was 10 years ago I did that project. So it makes sense 10 years later, I'm going to have a book that's basically a postcard book where you could buy it and like literally have your own scavenger hunt of finding 365 people based off my project and, you know, send them as birthday cards. You know, that's just my vision. So
I love that because, like, not to downgrade anybody, but, you know, it's like everybody has, not everybody, but people, he just had his everyday thing. You know, I feel like that's a really cool theme that people relate to because it's like a grind. You know, you don't feel inspired every day. You have to like get up and do it. But you added a layer to it because you had to actually, you couldn't just sit at your desk and like grind it out. You had to find somebody. You had to grind before the grind. You know, you had to find somebody who's
I had to go outside even the days I was sick and miserable. I had to find someone. And I'll be honest, the second I took that picture was like the greatest high of my life because I was anxious the whole day until I took that picture.
Right. I mean, that's like tension, that's, you know, conflict, that's adversity. I mean, man, it all comes through.
Today, I was doing this project for 100 days and like, is this the day I'm going to fail? And I'd never failed. I went through the whole year and found someone, and it got easier as it went.
I have a question for you. How hard was it to you know, find the subjects on their birthdays, or maybe we could bridge this into Twin Flames? How hard
it does bridge into Twin Flames because there's twins in that project I photographed in 2012, and then I started Twin Flames in 2017. And this is part of like what you were getting at of like how the projects connect. I kind of have like
it's evolving. It's almost organic in a way.
The life force, and they're Easter eggs in each project, just like Quentin Tarantino or Stanley Kubrick has Easter eggs in all of their films. Like for me, my photography has these hidden gems. Like, oh, these twins were in the birthday project. Now they're in Twin Flames, and oh, now they're in Smoke and Mirrors because they're magical. They're mystical. Like I like to, you know, build community and create long-lasting relationships that are meaningful and not just like shoot and peace. It's like I follow up and
it's your brand, very similar to when I, you know, bought this CryptoPunk 3706 and I want to turn it into a brand with the AR filter. You have a mindset for what you want to do with what you've owned, what you've made, what you've created, and it's constantly being created even further down the timeline.
And look, what I like, I mean, look, I'm all about originality and, you know, hacking the system, breaking the system. I mean, if you're not coming original, like what are you even coming with, right? Like, so, you know, that's the point. That's what we really want to showcase with you. Because man, as soon as I saw your Twin Flames collection, I was like, that's completely different than anything I've seen out there. What? Tell us just like, what, you know, when did you discover NFT, right? Like, how'd you say, oh, this is the place?
Literally like 2 weeks ago. Literally Valentine's Day. I'm gonna shout out G Money.
Yeah, G Money.
G Money literally was the first person I spoke to who introduced me to CryptoPunks, who introduced me to NFT, who inspired me to let go of this idea and obsession of I have to sell the set as one for $100,000 to a collector or an institution. It has to be, you know, I couldn't let that go because the twins live together. The twins are a family, and I just couldn't break them apart. But being in the NFT realm, I was able to let that go because the physical collection belongs in a museum, an institution, and I was introduced to NFT, and G Money broke it down like, dude, you don't need to sell the full collection. You could sell them as individuals. That's what NFTs are. And I'm just like, okay, I'm very fascinated. I see all these, you know, screensaver 8-bit art. Does my art fit in here? Just like every other artist is questioning. And I'm just like, you know what? I see past this. I'm a visionary. I see this as a tool, and transparency with transaction. The blockchain for me is like everything because of royalties, transparency, and accessibility to people like yourselves who are willing and able and also demanding art, quality art, and they're just seeking it daily to inspire your life. And you know, you see the same shit every day, Top Shots, CryptoPunks, but when do you get to be connected to real artists who are dying to make their art daily, grinding, like you just said, to share their story with the world, and they're stuck in their studio painting. They don't have the technical or linguistic skills of the tech world. And that's where I'm acting as a bridge in the tech world with my connections of people who are teaching me, literally holding my hand to make an OpenSea and MetaMask account And now
So
I'm translating that to my art world friends so they could join us in this wealth of abundance that's been created.
So, hey, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull up the TwinSeas. I know you guys can't see it, but I'm gonna pull that up real quick, and you know, let
while you're
again
doing that,
tell me a bit about you know what this art means to you, because like look, right now I'm looking at your OpenSea account, okay, and I see it's just it's people, man. It's like and two people, right, in every one, and the colors and just like the emotion is really coming through. Like that's what I'm seeing here, and just like tell me a story about like just your favorite shot you took. How about that?
Okay, look for the picture of the twins in the mirror. And honestly, it's being resold because I sold out the series in a week. And if you are willing and bold enough, I encourage you to be the secondary buyer on that picture, and I'll tell you the story because it's such a beautiful, poignant story. So find it in it's Franco, and it's a picture of the twins in the mirror.
Oh, I got it. Okay, and they're like looking into a mirror, black hoodies on.
So that picture to me is very special because it actually symbolizes what it's like to have like a phantom twin syndrome. Because I like I said, I lost my twin in the womb, and I was born with this prenatal connection. And then once I was born in the real world, I was like, I couldn't feel connected to anything because I had a loss, that part of me was gone, and I just couldn't put my finger on it up until my shamanic journeys. And there's a picture with my twin shamans that I do mescaline, San Pedro in Peru with, and do self-discovery shamanic journeys and really rediscover the trauma to heal it and connected into the spirit world to contact my twin through psychic mediums. But that's a whole nother story.
I mean, I see so many things going on in this photo, right? Like you got the balance of light and the dark. You've got the twins, like a physical connection, right? His hand on the shoulder.
One of them is in the physical plane, and the other one's only seen in the mirror, like it's a spiritual reflection, but it's like a ghost is there for you, but you can't see it in the material realm. You can only see it in the spiritual window. And that's why that picture to me is so special, because it's using photography in the most simplest way to frame something. But then when you create it and look at it again, and you with this story, you see it as something else that's more transcendent than what it was in that moment, as simple as it was. I'm looking at a reflection. I love reflections. I love refractions. I love perceptions and perspectives. And as a photographer, I'm drawn to the light. I'm drawn to these different visualizations of how to convey an idea. And obviously what I'm conveying through this whole project is a mirror, a duality, and reflection of oneself and the other. And I think that picture really nails it when it comes to the spirit world and material world. And there's another picture on there, if you could find it, with the twins in the water.
Yeah, I saw with the reflection in the pool, or like a puddle.
No, that's something else. That's actually a humor in photography. Tipping my hat to Gary Winogrand and the history of photography. If you look at my pictures, I'm really influenced by the history of photography. Deanne Arbus, Gary Winogrand, Mary Ellen Mark, Lee Friedlander, all these people really inspired me because I studied photography. But if you look for the picture, it's in the 20s, of Anna and Valeria in the water, to me, that's such a mythological image, kind of like the birth of Venus or Olympia, like that type of energy. And if you go to that picture,
Number 26.
26?
Yep.
Okay, let's see.
It kind of connects to the picture I was just talking about with the mirror, but in a way, like, let me break it down for you. There's one twin that seems like it's dying, and the other twin's holding up like it's bringing it back to life.
Is
right?
this in there? They're in the ocean.
They're in the ocean.
Yes, I got it up.
So let me break it
to
down
your right.
Visually, one twin is in the water, the womb, the embryo. The other twin is in the material world, the sand, and I see it as the twin that's in the spirit world, the water world, is connected, and me holding the twin. I see that as me and my twin, as my twin's dying, and I'm holding it up like, don't go, be with me, and they're just like giving up their life. And in a way, it enables me to connect to the spirit world, because their toes are dipped in the water, like into the spirit world where I'm grounded in the material world. And for me, that's the mythology. If you look at each picture, they're mythological heroes. I'm creating, you know, a structure of visual framing and also heroic. They pose themselves, they dress themselves, they chose the location. I just showed up as I am as a photographer, and I saw their light, and I really, you know, photographed them in a way that honors them, because my photography is about honor and love and community, and I really want to show that through the lens of photography. And I use 4x5 analog photography, and it's ironic that I brought it into the NFT world I made darkroom prints. You know, the physical collection, see prints in the darkroom, and suddenly I minted these on the blockchain, and it's just like totally opposite of what photography is, but in a way it works so beautifully because it's the digital image that's scanned in the blockchain that enables the work Twin Flames to exist in a dual plane of the physical and the digital. And I think that's how it needed to exist in both realms.
And look, I mean, there's no way everyone's going to interpret this any way they want, right? They browse your OpenSea account. They start, you know, flipping through the NFTs you got listed here. They would never know all this incredible background and story that goes along with this photo, right? Like it's, you know, and that this idea of like, you know, artist context, artist commentary, right? Like, you know, there's a place for that too, right? Like what's the story behind it? And like, that's what I love doing here, NFT stories, right? Is like break this down. How did you see it? And like I love hearing the craft behind how you created this image, right, in the dark room. Like this is traditional. I mean, and everyone's got their own style, their own craft, right? Like how you got to the point where this was worthy of being minted is a unique story.
And it almost shows the evolution of possibly you using the filters in the dark room, the black room to print your photos, to how we're using filters today.
Right. Hey, Justin, I want to ask, you know, because I think you are occupying a really important space in history right now, you know, like art history, blockchain history, and being sort of, you know, ushering in, cracking the door open for more analog or traditional artists. So I want to understand, you know, you're newer to the space, 2 weeks in, what have been some of the lessons learned? What have been some of the hurdles you had to overcome? And what would be your best advice to other artists that don't know this space, and especially photographers?
Okay, I think the most important thing to realize is it's not as easy as it looks to sell something out. Just like it is in the real world,
yes,
meet and connect with collectors, it's the same exact thing. Like you have to engage and network and communicate with people you're interested in, and do your homework and learn who's in the field, just like you would in who are your collectors and gallerists that you want to meet in real life. Like it's the same exact thing. Don't expect to mint something and sell something instantly. I literally connected with the community before I minted it. So by the time I minted it, I had people who wanted to buy the work and support me from the get. So don't think this shit's easy. It's really not. But that's sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. But you're talking about like in some ways two different communities with like not the overlap isn't fully there yet, right? Like there's the old art world and then there's the NFT, Twitter, and Discord space. So are you saying that in the past 2 weeks, can you take us through the timeline? Like you got put onto this and then you just started, were you on Twitter and Discord? Were there other places you were connecting?
I will be brief with this because I don't want to give too much away, because this is going to be in the news, in the articles. So I really want to, you know, be very conscious of what I'm saying, but I will say this. G Money brought me in. He gave me great advice. He was one of my first supporters. He led me into the community where that would be accessible, inviting, inclusive. And I found other people on Twitter, and I think Twitter is a really powerful place right now. That also leads to the Discords. That also leads to the Clubhouse. But you really got to engage and just communicate with people and share your story. Just like I've shared my story with you. I DM'd you guys. I said, hey guys, I'm me. Let's connect. And you guys like, fuck yeah, this guy looks legit. Let's do this. And you did your homework on me. And now we're talking, and now we're building, and we're becoming friends, and this is a long-term thing. I don't want to just say, peace guys, like I'll see you next year. I'm like, yo, what's going on tomorrow? Are you guys in LA? Like, let's hang out. Let's fucking make art together. Let's keep this conversation going. Let's keep the creative flow going. So at the end of the day, my advice is find your niche, carve out a place for you in the crypto world, find some people that you think would resonate with your work, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because I'm certainly not. And look where we are right now, because I reached out and I said hi. And that's the beauty of the blockchain and the crypto community, is like they're waiting for you to say hi, and you just got to meet them where they're at.
I mean, Justin, awesome. our stories are parallel. G Money helped me out. My Discords helped me out. I just want to give back to the community very much, that you're giving back to the NFT community as well, man. Thank you for your story. This is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what we're trying to do here, is like we've got to tell these origin stories, these founder stories. We've got to document this from the beginning. And what you talked about, like, you reach out, say hi, we pull you in here. Now we're talking, then we're going to connect somebody else, and they're going to connect somebody else, and eventually this thing's just going to grow and grow and grow. And really, what I love so far in the community is just how everyone, the right people are pulling up the right people, right? And we're saying it's pretty precious in that way. Like, it's not about, hey, we're all gonna go mint to mint, right? It's about, like, what are you contributing to the community? What stories are you looking to tell? So yeah, hey, thank you.
I think before we close out, I think it's important to acknowledge the artists around me who I'm bringing up.
100%.
And also, I want to shout out Nicole Buffett, Chris Graves, Travis Ricks. These are people I'm bringing onto the place because I respect them as artists, and they are great artists. And on that note, it's just like, yo, don't do this shit if you just want to make money. Do this shit if you've been doing the work for years, and this is a marketplace to share your work that is very efficient for artists. So, come correct, come with intention, and show your art the way you wanted to show it, and be bold and be courageous and be confident in your work, and talk to people. And, and I encourage you guys, if you don't have a twin, please collect one and be part of my journey.
Well, dude, Justin, I'm definitely tempted. The mirror one, as you told your story and your personal story, like, it really makes that picture that much more powerful to me. Survey of one. So thank you for sharing that backstory. Thank you for sharing your NFT stories. I want to give you one last chance before we go. Can you just give everybody a plug on what is SaveArtSpace?
Oh my God!
How can they support?
Okay, so SaveArtSpace is a nonprofit organization I founded with Travis Ricks, who I just mentioned just a moment ago. And him and I started this organization because we noticed all the advertisers were coming into Bushwick and taking over the mural spaces of all the artists' murals to capitalize and gentrify. So we were like, yo, no, we're going to buy this space. I used all the money I had saved up from college, and I bought billboards, and we had an open call for local Bushwick artists, and we bought the art to put it back over the ads that took over the art, hence why we're called SaveArtSpace. That was in 2015. 6 years later, what's today? 6 years later, we're in 5 different cities a month. Kentucky, wow, Colorado, Miami, yeah, LA, Philly, just this month. Next month is other places. Like we're nonstop. We're supporting artists. We're giving back to the community. We're shifting the paradigm from consumerism to community, because we need community right now in all ways, crypto and in reality, and give art to the community so it could be accessible to everyone, and not just people in the art world or the crypto world, but everyday people walking and living life, and essential workers, and people who just don't want to be brainwashed by advertisements and by bullshit, when we could be lifting up people and encouraging people and giving them a place to shine their art in the world. And that's really what SaveArtSpace is about, and that's what we do. And there's a big project coming up from the NFT world into the public art world, but we'll talk about that next time.
That's a whole nother NFT story.
Dude, that's awesome. Hey, there will be a next time. We're gonna hold you to that. We definitely want to have you back on. Thank you for coming on the show, brother. Congratulations once again. Much continued success to you. This has been NFT Stories. I'm Mig. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, leave a comment. It helps with the algorithm, all that jazz. And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Stay positive and love life.